Mom, I saw Dylan's dad make dinner. Like, actually cook, and it was straight fire. He said it was Blue Apron Assemble and Bake. All the ingredients showed up pre-chopped, and he just laid it out on a baking sheet, and no cap. Dinner was on the table in like 25 minutes. Apparently, it's chef designed, and it has like over 40 grams of protein. That's a lot, right? So maybe we try it. Just saying. You can be the next Dylan's dad. Blue Apron. Get $50 off your first 2 orders plus free shipping with code STIR50. Terms and conditions apply. Visit blueapron.com/terms for more.
I'm Gary Birdwell's one of the old gits from a long time ago. You've got to tune into Tricky Talks, I believe, so just do it. All the best.
Robertson, the first time we've seen them attack them, and there's Francis! Well, that's what I wanted to see Robertson do. And still Robertson, getting his shot in, and a goal! Robertson!
It feels a long time since we've had to play that on the podcast, hasn't it? Well,
Yep.
hello, welcome along to the Tricky Talks podcast. We are back after a short break over the new year, and who knows, maybe it's not a coincidence that as soon as we're all back together, Forest are back with a win too. So welcome back, Chelsea. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. We needed that. Yeah, didn't we yesterday? Cool. So, yeah, relieved is how I'm feeling today.
Yeah, you must have enjoyed watching that in the comfort of your own home, in the warmth.
Oh, I did. We had the fire on, the heating on. I even had a cup of tea while I was watching the second half, so I was nice and toasty.
Someone who wasn't toasty was Kate. You were there, of course. How are you? You got back okay, obviously?
Yeah, regained feeling in my fingers and toes. Had about 3 hours sleep before I went to work. But still, yeah, relieved is the word, isn't it? Like, literally flooded with relief when that full-time whistle went.
Yeah, and you, Molo, you've said you've aged after that performance and result.
Hard that is to believe. I think I've got even more grey hairs. But yeah, I'm not bothered about the performance at the end of the day. It's all about the result. I'm really proud of how the boys dug in. But yeah, so happy today. I bounced around work. Fortunately, I don't work with any West Ham fans, but very, very happy. And Via.
It's certainly a bit of a change over the recent games. It was, 4 defeats in a row. Things were looking a little bit grim. I know we'd recorded a couple of pods, thanks Kate and Chelsea for doing that on the back of Everton and Man City, but the bad run of form had continued and things weren't looking great. Definite 6-pointer, as they say, but it was great to come out of it with a win yesterday. And how important was that, Chelsea, for you? You obviously had the benefit of the TV comms to provide that analysis, but how important was that a win for Forest yesterday?
That was so important. I was doing that thing where I was blocking the game out until the game started. I knew how important it was, but I could not think about it. It was one of them, and then we started watching the build-up, and they were speaking very highly about how it's must-win games for both teams. And then, of course, you get the table up. Never get the table up before a game. It just puts so much more anxiety onto you. But I was worrying, I'm not going to lie, the first half an hour of the game. I really thought that wasn't going to happen. And the suspense and the anxiety was just building for me as every minute went past. And even when we scored that penalty with the second goal, there was part of me which was going, oh. And I remember Dean, he put a 3-1 Forest prediction. He was like, oh yeah, still time for 3-1. And I was going, oh, I really hope so, because then it feels like we're then secured it a little bit more. But I think it's at 7 points clear off the drop now. God, did we need that? And I can't tell you how much the amount of relief that flooded me after that game.
Yeah, it went 1-0 down, of course, and I was at that moment in time thinking all horrible kind of thoughts. I was thinking it was the end. We were going down. What does this mean for the future? We're going to lose Anderson. Mm-hmm. We're going to lose Gibbs-White. We're going to lose Murillo. And you can't help but get caught up in that moment. And then it went briefly 2-0 Thankfully, it was overturned. But what were you going through, Kate? Your thoughts at that moment when things weren't looking so good before they got those 2 goals?
See, now I wasn't too bad at half time. It'd been niggling me, this game, and the fact that everybody was saying it's so important, it's a 6-pointer. Loads of people that I know that support West Ham are sending messages, oh, you're going to win, you're going to walk it, you could send your under-10s team out and they'd still beat us. I got that from somebody, and I just thought, this has got Forest mess up written all over it. Like, I've been here before, I know how this ends. So, but funnily enough, when we were 1-0 down, I thought, no, we can get back in this. And I know it's really popular opinion that first goal is so important. And I do agree, because obviously your odds of winning the game go up so much when the first goal goes in. But then equally, I'm a big believer in, if you can get an equaliser, then the momentum swing can be quite dramatic. So I was still in it at half time. I was not quite where you were, where I was, looking at the championship fixtures and, wondering what on earth we were all going to do. But when that second one went in, then I lost it. Absolutely lost it. I was saying to the woman who I sat with, I was like, that's it. We're never coming back from this ever again. It's never going to be offside. Oh my God, I can't believe it. Then I completely lost it. And then obviously VAR stepped in and did us a little bit of a favour, which thankfully we capitalised on. So yeah, I lost it just a little bit after everybody else, I think.
Did you see that stat that's been going around today, and last night after the game? That's the first Forest win in the Premier League, or since they've returned to the Premier League after being behind.
At half time.
Was that at half time?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Since 1997.
Yeah, geez, it's a long time. But
wow, I was 3.
God. But it just shows you, demonstrated, I think, I can't remember who mentioned it, but it was the character, wasn't it? Was it you, Mollo, who mentioned it earlier, the character of the team to come from behind and pull out a victory?
Absolutely, because it was, I know it's the old cliche about a 6-pointer, because instead of being 1 ahead, we're now 6 or whatever. My view from the start was it's a must-not-lose game, not must-win, must-not-lose. And at 1-0 down, after the first 10 minutes where we looked really good and then fell apart, I did feel at half-time it had a bit of a scrappy 1-1 written all over it in the end, a typical sort of, it was archetypal relegation clash, passes going all over the place, people caught in possession, very little quality, defenders on top pretty much throughout apart from the set pieces. And I just felt the way they dug back in to get into it, I think over the course of the game we were slightly the better side, but that's not saying much, is it, to be fair? And that's no disrespect to West Ham, we both didn't play well, but it just doesn't matter. It's all about the points. And it was nice for once to be on the, not just the right side of a VAR decision, because it was only really one VAR decision. It was nice to be on the right side of a goalkeeping error after our recent escapades, after Sells not being himself this season. John Victor, well, on a human level, I'd rather not talk about that, poor guy. So it was nice to be on the right side of a keeping error where the keeper has a moment of madness, comes flying out, takes out Gibbs White unnecessarily because they would have won the header anyway, did win the header, and gives away the softest of soft penalties, similar to Louise gave a soft penalty, I suppose, the other day. So yeah, they dug themselves out and they earned, the ball was in the box at the end of the day. We were challenging for it, so they earned the right to get that bit of luck, regardless of how salty some West Ham fans have been about that decision. That decision wasn't even controversial. So, fair play. I'm proud of the lads for their effort. Loved the way Gibbs White spoke afterwards. I heard his interview today where he's saying he didn't know where he was, so spot on.
Danny's got a friend who's a West Ham season ticket holder who sits near the away fans, and his response at the time was, it's never a pen, excuse me, but it's like, I don't see how it cannot be a pen.
No, definitely not.
Never in doubt. Once they showed the replay, it was never in doubt, was it? I think the controversial one, which I'm sure you'll talk about, was the second goal, and watching it back, I'm thinking, a technicality has dug us out there, and if we're being honest, that was a turning point in the game, and who knows, not turning point of the season as such, because getting rid of that idiot Ange was the turning point, there might be a turning point, getting Daichi back on track and getting us not moving up the table, but moving clear of relegation, because we're not good enough at the moment to get clear of relegation. Move up the table. We're not playing with confidence. Good players are giving the ball away. The noise around the manager is ridiculous. He doesn't tell class players like Anderson and Murillo, like they were at Villa, to pass the ball to the opposition constantly. He's not picking poor players, apart from obviously the goalkeeper situation was good. So it was just lovely to dig one out, get the result, get the point, because regardless of anything else, we're still looking over our shoulder, and I can't see where West Ham will make up 7 points anytime soon. That's not to say they're not going to make it up at some point, but anytime soon, if you follow my drift.
Want to continue just talking about the penalty for a moment, because that was my first experience of hearing the referee on his microphone, and it was all a bit of a, until that point, and that he went across and checked the monitor, nobody really kind of knew what was going on, because play had carried on and all of a sudden it was halted and came up on the scoreboard checking for a possible penalty, and it was all around us. It was like, well, what happened? It wasn't really clear. But those situations when a ref goes to the monitor, it's normally given, isn't it, and a penalty. So we were quite confident at that point we were going to get given the pen, and when the ref came out and signalled V8 the square and started to talk, and as soon as he said, I think the first words were, correct me if I'm wrong guys, but something like he talked about the goalkeeper making a foul, and as soon as that point you know it's going to be a penalty, and I didn't hear the rest of it because everybody else was cheering for the pen.
I was still stood there when it first came up on the screen, VAR checking for a penalty. I was literally stood there like that, please, 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 please. But then when he went across the monitor, that's it. I'm a proper, I don't know, old woman. I'm like, oh, he's going to the monitor. He's going to the monitor. It's going to be okay. Honestly, I'm complaining about the miserable guy that was sat near us. I was probably equally as annoying, but just a little bit more enthusiastic.
Well, you gave us a good impression before we started recording of this annoying fan next to you. You're going to have to do it again for the benefit of the listeners, because it was hilarious what he was doing.
I don't know. I'll have to... If I can clean it up a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, he just wasn't very happy. So there was lots of, oh, Forrest, oh, you're better than that. Come on, this is rubbish. I don't want to pay to see this. But he was just so loud and right in my ear. And when you are sitting watching it, and it's not that I'm not seeing what he's seeing, because obviously he has a point, but just come on, give us a break. Give us a break.
Well,
have a sympathy here and give us a break.
There's the clip that's going on social media this week, I think.
Can I say, Kate is more like, when the penalty was going, she's like you said, I'm not calling you an old woman, Kate. You'd called yourself like that. You were the old woman going up to the monitor. He's going up to the monitor all excited. I wasn't. I was going, see, another thing that's going to go against us. I was at the other end of the scale. But I didn't see, I had my cousin round, and he thought it wasn't a penalty at all.
Well, he punched him in the face, Chelsea, so how can it not be a penalty? So why did he think it wasn't?
He just said that he was already going to bat the ball away. It just happened that a player was interfering when he was seeing it on straight. And I was like, but if you went in for a tackle and didn't get the ball, and consequently, then that would have been a foul, and that would have been a penalty. So regardless of whether
deliberate, does it?
No, exactly. No. Yeah, and God, the impact of Gibbs White when you saw it in slow-mo on the telly, oh, he took a hell of a batter, didn't he?
Yeah. He landed so badly, he got winded, didn't he?
It's not like the goalie was deliberately trying to punch him in the face, was it?
No.
So, but what did you guys make of Gibbs White taking the penalty in the first place? Because that was the first one he'd taken since he missed in Graz, I think. He'd said at that point he was told by Thomas Tuchel never to take another penalty again, and since then we've seen Anderson score a pen, we've seen Jesus score a pen. So I was expecting one of those two guys to step up and take it. But what did you think when you saw it as Gibbs White?
I can't swear, but I straight away thought, no, that was it.
Yeah, I wanted Anderson.
It was one of these, wasn't it? Like, hands over your eyes, peeking out through your fingers, not Gibbs White. And let's be honest, it wasn't a fantastic penalty, you know.
It was, It went in.
Inches away. If his foot had moved just a couple of inches, then he's getting to that. Not that it matters, like I say, not that it matters. It went in. Yeah.
Therefore, it's a great penalty. I've seen some good penalties pull off missed through world-class saves.
Well, Dean had clocked that the keeper had looked at his water bottle, and Dean went, he knows where he's going. And my dad went, I tell you what, before the start of the game, he said, I thought Forrest's going to get a penalty and miss it. And I thought, brilliant. And then, of course, Gibb, I went,
he wasn't stood next to Kate at the game.
And it was one of them ones where Dad went, right, keeper, if you just stand in the middle, you'll save it, mate.
I said that before. I said, but please don't put it down the middle, because that's what you always do.
Yeah, and to be fair, and from getting punched in the face as well, I did think, I was like, is your vision okay? Is your head okay? I was like, just give it to Anderson. That's what I was thinking. But thank God that he did, and I think he needed that for his own confidence anyway. Yeah. And thank God it did just go in.
Yeah, talking of water bottles, I can't remember which goal it was, but we were sat right near the home fans, and one of the home fans lobbed a full water bottle into the Forest end in response to one of the goals. I didn't see whether it hit anyone in the head or injure anyone, but the Forest fans weren't too happy that somebody did that, and they just let them get away with it.
On the flip side of that, when we scored our first goal, somebody had got a box of popcorn, and in their, joy of jumping up and down, I can't imagine that it was on purpose, because it was a full box of popcorn, launched this box of popcorn, which landed directly in front of one of the stewards that was sat facing us. And the steward absolutely lost it about this, to the point where a police officer came over and took a photograph of this box of popcorn at this steward's feet. And I was like, what on earth is going on? Like,
£60 for littering.
Clearly the cop, they're all busy.
I don't know, but I thought whoever's popcorn that is suddenly slinking back into the ground, like checking their
I'm going to defend that person.
I'm like, oh my goodness.
I'm going to defend that person, because I once, at a playoff semi-final at Bramall Lane, sadly, back in the day, not the recent one, I was just got a pie in my hand, and it's when we scored our second goal that day, and I jumped up and it just flew out my hand, and it just arced over. I was on the upper tier onto a lower tier, and I was thinking, oh no.
Hilarious.
I don't know whether I was devastated about it could have landed on a Forest fan below, because it was Forest fan, or because I've lost nearly a whole pie. Clearly looking at me now, it was probably losing a pie. But yeah, I just watched it. I was like, and I just carried on celebrating, but yeah, and then we lost, obviously. It was a disaster. But yeah, things that happen.
When you were talking about that steward, Kate, I thought you were going to say for a moment that steward saw this popcorn land at his feet and started to eat it.
Reasonable reaction. No, just one of those bizarre things, isn't it, that you see? And there's this copper, taking a picture of this thing of I was just like, okay.
Clearly the copper was busy, but...
Yeah.
It's just to shut the steward up, really, isn't it? Stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's clearly not been done deliberately. The bottle thing's different. Important question here on a day like last night, Simon. When the bottle flew over, did it have its lid on, or was water flying out of it?
No, it didn't. It didn't.
That's
because
so annoying.
It is. So it could. I don't know whether it was full or empty. All I saw was this object flying through the air. There was no water coming out of it. And I said to Jack, "What was that? Did you see?" And he said it was a bottle of water.
To be fair, how many empty seats there were at West Ham? I'm surprised that War Ball even got launched. There was no one there, was there?
But it was quite funny though. The West Ham fans were giving it all that large when they scored.
Of course they were,
which was hilarious. Your team had just gone one down, but you can't help but smile when you look across at them and they're giving all the finger gestures and everything, knowing that. And then when the reverse happened and Forest equalised, everyone was doing it back, and it's hilarious.
They won't look at it then, though, will they?
No, and then 2-1 at the end. It was even more hilarious because they just got up and left at that point.
Yeah.
Practically empty by 90 minutes, 97 minutes. Brilliant stuff. Can I go a special shout out for Nico Squared? Two Nicos last night. It's better to have two Nicos than one, as I put on social media. How good were they? A lot of people have gone, and I understand why. It's a football psychology thing. In that extra 7 minutes, Nico was absolutely outstanding, wasn't he? Nico Williams. So it stayed in people's minds. He's my man of the match. But for me, Nico Dominguez was superb. He was so calm on the ball. I know he's not going to open up defences creatively all the time, but he was so calm on the ball and he's everywhere. And he was kind of, if you were watching that game, you didn't know any players and you'd heard about us, you'd think that was Anderson, if you know what I mean. He was outstanding. He was that good. But
that's exactly what I said to Dad. I said that to Dad today. About him being like Anderson, brilliant.
I do want to talk about the bigger picture in a moment, but whilst we're on the West Ham game, we are going to do Mollo's moment and man of the matches as well. So, Mollo, have you got a Mollo's moment from that game?
Ironically,
the launching of the water bottle or the popcorn.
The popcorn would have been if I'd have seen that. That sounds brilliant. No, without a doubt. Obviously, the penalty was amazing, all that stuff. It's got to be when West Ham's goal was disallowed suddenly, because at that point in time, when a second goal went in, there's not an honest Forest fan over the age of 11 where the hope hasn't been beaten out of you that thought we would get anything out of that game. So I said this could be a massive turning point of our current run as well as this game, and so it proved. So, and that's the only thing I think West Ham fans have got any need to be salty about, that it was a technicality, albeit it would have been ruled out for anyone. It's a stupid rule, to be fair. So, yeah, that for me, Mollo's moment was that, because of the sheer desolation, devastation, and you called it there, Simon, about what we're going to do, we're going to lose this. Just suddenly thinking, we're still in this game, and you could visibly see it lift the players. And after that, without brilliant. So, the disallowed goal.
Talking of salty, was it sweet or salty popcorn? Okay, because you can just imagine
Mollo.
Mollo.
It was not my popcorn. Can I just go on record to say that was not popcorn? I do not know.
I just imagine it, Mollo, you running down from that upper tier, which was 500 yards away, it seemed, right down to the front of the lower tier, just to grab that popcorn. But that'd have been hilarious.
Find my pie I lost, mate. Yeah.
Prime's exclusive wildcard playoff game is Saturday night. Jordan Love and the Packers take on Caleb Williams and the Bears. Not a Prime member? Sign up for a 30-day free trial to stream the game.
That's going to be caught for the touchdown.
NFC North rivals square off in the latest chapter of the NFL's oldest feud. The Packers and Bears in Prime's exclusive wildcard playoff game. Saturday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Only on Prime. Sign up for a 30-day free trial today. Restrictions apply. See Amazon.com/Amazon Prime for details.
Does it ever feel like you're a marketing professional just speaking into the void? But with LinkedIn ads, you can know you're reaching the right decision makers, a network of 130 million of them, in fact. You can even target buyers by job title, industry, company, seniority, skills, and did I say job title? See how you can avoid the void and reach the right buyers with LinkedIn ads. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a free $250 credit for the next one. Get started at linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
Año nuevo, los mismos Extra Value Meals en McDonald's. Ahora te puedes llevar 2 snack wraps y papitas y una bebida mediana por solo $8. Solo por tiempo limitado. Precios y participación pueden variar. Los precios pueden ser más altos en Hawaii, Alaska y California y con entrega.
Yeah. Right, man of the matches, Chelsea. We'll start with you.
For the West Ham game, that's got to be Dominguez. I'm so with Mollo on that. He was absolutely everywhere, and you just couldn't fault him. And he quietly went about his business. And when you clock him, and then you just kept watching him, I'd love to have seen his touch map of that game. So yeah, Dominguez for me.
Kate, who's yours?
Be the other one for me, I'm afraid. And I was at one point shouting at him because he got properly mullered towards the end, didn't he? You leave him alone! You leave him alone! So for me, it's got to be my Nico Williams for me.
You saw the best and the worst of Nico Williams in that first half, because he had that great shot which the keeper just about tipped over, but then he had another shot with his right foot which he completely miscued and it went miles wide. So great effort for that first one for sure, but well deserved man of the match award there. Mollo, who you going for? Nico,
definitely, because I thought Williams pushed us forward. He was our best attacking tool. However, he was good again by his standards. He's Mr. Consistent note apart from at Villa. But Nico Dominguez, man of the match for me. He was, and it's more because the position he's playing as well as they both were, 8.5 out of 10 or whatever. But he did nothing wrong, absolutely nothing wrong. Whereas Williams made a few errors, which you get at full back. So it's there. And I thought as well, Dominguez, at 60-65 minutes he usually comes off because his races run since he's come back from injury. And I watched him, and obviously Chelsea the same, and I thought, he's still going. I wonder if they're going to bring him off. And then he just raised it again. I thought he was the glue, because
we had nothing going forwards at all, did we? So it would have been real problems if he hadn't kept that midfield, because, bless him, Ando wasn't at his best.
Yeah, I'm going to go for Dominguez as well, like you, Chelsea, because I thought his contribution to the game was outstanding, probably the best game he's had for quite a while. And what a perfectly placed looping header to get the equaliser as well.
Yeah, so and that, I forgot about the goal, sorry.
Yeah, so I'm going to go for Dominguez. Okay, I did say I wanted to talk about a little bit of the bigger picture, but we're about halfway through anyway. So shall we do our usual quiz and FPL updates?
What do you want first? Quiz or FPL?
Do the quiz.
Yeah, do the quiz. Go on.
Yep.
Okay. All right. In 1993, Wrexham played Forest in a 2-leg League Cup tie. What was the aggregate score, and which Forest player scored a hat-trick?
Oh, God, I can't remember that at all.
I'm going to leave that to you because I wasn't born. So I'll leave that to you two.
I know who got the hat-trick. I didn't realise it was an aggregate game.
1990.
Let's do FPL and come back to it.
We drew 3 all away.
Was it, which round was it? Was it a second round?
Days where the first round was home and away to help the lower league teams get a game against a big team. Yeah. Am I allowed to say it now, or have we got to wait?
I don't mind.
Let's come back to it at the end. Give us time to think, for those that don't know.
Remember the other one.
Right, go on, Chelsea. FPL update time, please.
Right, so obviously as we are towards now the start of a new game week, I thought I'd have just a little look at last week's points. So overall, Mollo, you're in 14th place. You got
dropping like a stone.
You got 56 points last week. Kate, I don't even want to say it, Kate. You're in 28th place with 50 points you got last week. Simon, you're in 7th.
Not bad.
Modest. With the 60 points you got last week. And then I got 47 points last week, and I'm 18th overall. I was just having a little look at everyone's teams this week, and we're all on 7 points so far this week because we've all got Anderson, that I noticed, which I was very surprised by.
Yeah, good start.
Kate, I was just having a little look. You're quite similar to me. You've got Thiago and Haaland up front. And have you? Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. So you've gone very similar. I made quite a few changes this week. I binned off Raya in goal and I put Martinez in. I was fed up of Raya. I gave him too many chances and he was getting about 2 or 3 points a game, so I binned him off. Mollo, you've actually got Raya in goal, sorry. Don't worry, because I've took him out, he'll perform really well. So you'll be absolutely fine. And then, Simon, I was having a little look, you've got Ekatike and Haaland up front.
Yeah, I got rid of Thiago.
Just before he scored 2?
Yeah.
Before he scored
and
17.
Last week,
TK, did he get off the bench?
No, and he's got an injury, so...
Ooh.
So that was a lot of points
and
lost
you still
there.
got 60.
Yeah, and with 10 men as well, so... Because I had 4 out injured, I think.
Well, luckily, I put Murillo on my bench this week, and thank God that I did, because at one point he was on -1 for scoring the own goal. So I was very, very grateful for that. But I will just have a little look at the bottom of our league in 48th place. You need to talk to your brother, Simon, and tell him. Yes, he's at the bottom still. You need to tell him to up his game. He's got 853 points overall. And then all the way at the top is Gareth Parry. No one knows who he is. Is that right?
No, don't know.
No.
Fair play.
He's got 1,206 points. How is... Yeah. I mean, well done you. But yeah, that's all for the FPL update. I don't know whether anyone's got any comments that they want to report on or what they're going to do.
Plenty of time left. We're only just over halfway through. So loads of time to retrieve that gap. Definitely.
Yes. And also as well, all of our chips have...
Yep.
Then renewed again, so we've got all of those to play.
Cool, thanks for that, Chelsea. Right, obviously the the West Ham game was on the back of 4 losses in a row, so I did say I wanted to talk a little bit about what's gone on over the Christmas and New Year period. First thing I wanted to talk about was the strikers, because they seem to be struggling at the minute. We've obviously got Wood out injured. We've got Callum Mwendo is reportedly off to Frankfurt. any time now for a loan with a permanent move in mind. You've got a 1 year, he doesn't seem like he's himself, he's got it anymore. You do wonder whether he's going to play any part. And Jesus, who's got 1 goal in 19 Premier League games. In conjunction with that, the way they're pressing forward at the minute, they just seem to be doing the same thing every single game, don't they? Trying to put in crosses for... I know Jesus, he's decent in the air, but he's not winning anything against any centre-halves he's playing against at the minute, and they don't seem to be changing their style of play at all. They just keep rinse, repeat. Callum Hudson-Odoi, I don't know what's happening with him, because there were lots of times where he can be going down the left and taking on his fullback, but he doesn't. He always now seems to want to cut back onto his right foot. And as fans, we can see the problems, and they don't seem to be doing much to change it. What would you guys, are you in agreement with that? Is the striking position the main problem at the moment that we have? Because I don't think there's anything wrong with the defence or the midfield.
No goals from midfield is a big problem, and striker who is outside the box, works his socks off, he's brilliant at everything, everyone loves him, he's great at holding up the ball, he's great at running in behind, he's great at winning 50-50s, and unfortunately it's part of the modern game, he's great at diving and conning the ref for free kicks, but inside the box he's a statue. 40-odd crosses, that's not just on the people crossing it, where obviously they don't beat the first man. You don't see Wood beating a centre-back very often in the air in the box, because they don't lose 50-50s very often. What you do see is he's got the ability to find that yard of space naturally or whatever, and he's not a natural striker, is he? He's a wonderful player, but he's not a natural striker. Half a chance isn't a chance with him. Half a chance with Wood can be a chance. Brutal, but I think it's flipped. I think with my coaching head on, you find a man in the box, also you've got to put movement, there's got to be movement in the box, and there's combination. Obviously some of the crosses are absolutely garbage, that goes without saying, and not beating the first man, but I don't think the tactic was a problem. I think the lack of movement was the problem. So I'll leave it at that.
So how would you fix it? Go on, Kate.
He's White our scorer this season.
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, I think he is, isn't he? I was saying that on the way home. I think he is our top scorer, which, I mean, I don't know what that says.
Well, penalties and whatnot, isn't it, as well? There's not enough goals from midfield overall, though, is there?
No,
he's had his little thing, and that's
not enough
problem.
goals, full stop.
Yeah.
But a guy in front of us at Villa made a really good point I hated hearing, but I heard him saying, he said, when he smashed in that goal, albeit it was a keeping error, but he smashed in that long-range goal, his words were, we don't have anyone on the pitch who does that this year at all, who can do that. You know, I'd argue Hudson-Odoi can and has done and hit the bar, but we just don't look like scoring. And Jesus is such a good player, and with the right players around him, maybe, but then you've got to change a lot. But there was a time last night where I watched it today, and again, the actual chance, and it was a chance, it was a half chance, and it would have been a volley, but he controlled it, and the chance is gone. For instance, I'm being really harsh, I know, because he's absolutely feeding off scraps. But when those scraps come, you've got to be ready. You've got to make the most of it. That's a natural thing. Goal scoring is mostly natural, isn't it? And you look at Chris Wood. How many headers does Chris Wood have at goal? Even if he misses them, how many does he have? 3 headers. It's not just down to the quality of crossing dropping on his head, is it? He's got that natural, innate ability to find space. And as Gary Lineker said, people say it's completely natural. No, you can coach and learn, and I'm sure he has done, and he's going to have to in this league, to make that. This can be a 3-yard movement, not a 10-yard run, a 3-yard movement in between the centre halves, in front of the centre halves, behind the centre halves, wherever it might be. If you put 40-odd crosses into a box, and let's say 25 of them didn't get
cut out by the very first man,
something's got to be headed at goal. And when he did have his chances, nothing happened, and the only real on-target header he had was when we were 2-0 down and the keeper made a worldie off, once again, Gibbs White. So I think he's good in the air, but he's not good in the box at finding space. It's just that, really.
I feel like with Wood was always one step ahead, and you always knew that he was very aware of where the centre-backs were. He was very aware of who was going to cross and whereabouts it was going to be. I feel like with Jesus, he's always one step behind. don't get me wrong, I know with West Ham he was up against quite a few giants in that box, and I get that, and he's not a tall lad, is he? But I just feel, again, 1 goal in 19, I feel like he doesn't create his space, and he doesn't get in the positions of where he has created the space in order to be able to get them goals in. And again, like, okay, what you said, Mollo, we've had however many crosses come in. Some of them haven't been great, I give him that. But 1 goal in 19, surely you can, for the amount of crosses that we've had, you could create goals and chances from that at least. I personally see Jesus as more of like an attacking midfielder, as more of like a number 10. I think he'd be better suited to that role rather than being the striker up front. Or maybe he prefers better as working in a 2 up front, but... I think that's what it'd be. But again, with Wood doesn't do that. He works better on his own up front. And then you've got Awoni, who could no way play 90 minutes. He would be blowing out of his backside if he did. And we know that he is more prone to injury. And so we need strikers. We need it.
I was going to say, what would you guys do to resolve that? Would you be looking to sign a striker in the transfer window? There have been rumours Strand Larsen is being talked about from Wolves. Would he be a good signing, Kate, do you think?
I think Strand Larsen is the only player that I've seen us linked with that seems to have anything behind it. I've not heard us be linked with very many. So Strand Larsen is tall. So, that's got to be a bonus in terms of, Jesus is not tall. We've just spoken about presence in the box. We've spoken about headers. So, I think that would be a bonus. 1 goal in 18 appearances, I believe, is the stat that I read. So,
is that for Strand Larsen?
Yeah.
Now, obviously, we have to take into account that he's, where he's playing at the moment. But is that much? Well, it's not much better. It's not any better, is it? So is it just a case of signing somebody because they're available, or is it that Dyche feels that he's the kind of player that he can nurture and make something of? I honestly, I don't know. I don't know if he's the answer. He doesn't scream at me, oh my God, yes, get him signed up. But then at the same time, our options are limited. It does look like Callum Owendo's going. Mm-hmm. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't feel like we really had an opportunity to evaluate.
Not a Premier League player.
What we did see wasn't great, but we didn't see an awful lot. Taiwo, God love him, and we love him. The only way that man is scoring is if the ball bounces in off his arse, let's be honest. And that's just not happening, is it? So Jesus is our best option at the moment, and I worry when he's taken off because of what's coming on in his place. But at the same time, I don't have a great deal of faith in him either. So the answer is yes. I think the fan base are crying out for us to sign a striker. But I just wonder if this vision that we have of a striker is Chris Wood in form, what we had last year. Does that exist? Are we going to get it?
But isn't it worrying that we are a Premier League club and our best option is a striker that has scored 1 goal in 19 games?
That's because of injury, though, isn't it?
Well, yeah.
Him and Chris Wood, when you're only playing one striker, is a great combination. And I agree with what Kate said about 1 in 19. The difference is, and this is so brutal, Strand Larsen is missing chances, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
Jesus isn't even getting chances. And that's not just that. Like, go back to the crossing thing. He missed a chance against us, didn't he, Strand Larsen? A header. He's found room between our centre backs. He's a top player. Let's not forget he scored 14 last season, but he's not exactly going to be brim full of confidence if we do sign him. The other one I've seen is linked with is Wilson, who's a decent player, even if it's for the rest of the season. Every time he's come on, he's obviously had a massive fallout with Nuno. That was pretty clear. Something's gone on because of the way Nuno was on social media. I saw saying something about, I am honest with my players. I tell them I'll leave it at that. So obviously he said something that he didn't like. He's another one that's been injury prone over the years, but short-term contract. It's got to be better. My concern is Callum Wendo suddenly became the best centre forward I've ever had in the last couple of weeks, hasn't he, on social media? But anyone who's actually seen him play will know he's a flat-track bully in a lesser league because he's got a yard of pace. he knows where the goal is when he gets his chances from time to time, but he's not got the tools for the Premier League. And when he was handed a chance on a plate at Villa when they messed it up, all he did was blast it straight at the keeper from a difficult angle. We didn't even test the keeper really, and that's he scored what looked like an amazing goal when we were out in Utrecht. We saw it late on the telly. He's miscontrolled it. The defender's booted it against him, and it's hit him and gone through on goal, hasn't it? And he finished it well. So, but it's still better than having no striker, I guess. If something happened to Jesus, let's say. But Jesus needs that goal off his backside, that figurative goal, because maybe that'll get him going. Even though he's not a natural striker, it might get him going at this point. The thing with Taiwo, we had 10 goals in a season, one season, and the start of that season after. But he's nowhere near at the moment because he hasn't been playing and he hasn't got the minutes. But our worry is when he gets the minutes, he's made of glass, isn't he? He gets broken, unfortunately, and he's a handful and what have you. But is he what we need right now? I just want anyone who can score a goal. I don't care who it is. Strand Larsen, Taiwo. I couldn't care less. Stan Collymore.
Did you know Callum Wilson's had his contract cancelled by West Ham?
Even better.
So, he's now a free agent.
Yeah, I did read that. Yeah.
And don't forget, Strand Larsen as well was on the verge of joining Newcastle in the summer before they signed Wisser instead from Brentford. So he's got some pedigree. Yeah, he's not scored this season, but he has had a few injury problems. So he's going to be... I think they're going to have to get somebody in with Premier League experience, because I think it's too far gone now to bed in somebody from abroad who's not got any Premier League experience. He seems to be the logical candidate right now. Callum Wilson on a free, you can't argue with, but has he got the legs in him to last? He sounds like he's going to be more of an impact sub than anything else.
That'd do at the moment.
But if he gets the job done, then exactly.
Get someone in, give us some options.
Yeah, he scored more goals this season than any of our strikers, hasn't he?
Yeah. But that leads me into somebody who we may be missing that we didn't think we would be missing is Sangare as well. Has the recent dip in form and results coincided with Sangare going to AFCON, or is it a coincidence? Well, it has coincided, but is it as a result of Sangare being taken out of the team? Start with you, Mono, because I know he's your favourite player.
Right. Oh, that's so harsh. Throw me under the bus.
Yeah.
That game against Tottenham when he was man of the match and showed us everything we've waited 2.5 years for. If we had that Sangare, not week in, week out, because nobody can play that well every week, but if we had that Sangare or something close to it, 3 out of 4 games, then I'd agree with you. But the run started, we played Everton, didn't we? And when we played away at Everton, we had him and he got absolutely schooled by, Jimmy Garner again, wasn't it, and co. So I don't think it's just that, but it definitely hasn't helped because we're short of numbers. I think worst thing, I mean, how bad do we feel for Yatesy, because he's the ideal man to come in and get minutes. Because the other thing to remember, our man of the match last night, in 3 of our opinions, was the guy that's replaced Sangare.
Yeah.
What we really need is Anderson and Gibbs-White to get back to where we know they've been when we had that good run. So yes, of course we've missed him. We've missed numbers. I wouldn't say we've missed his physical presence in terms of, because he can't edit, but in terms of we've missed his size in midfield. Not that he blocks passing lanes. He's there or thereabouts on a good day. One thing he can do is he can put his foot on the ball and play a crisp pass, especially when he's got space. So yes, we've missed him, but it's absolutely not the reason why we've had this bad run. We've had a difficult run of fixtures that for some bizarre reason 90% of Forest fans don't rate Everton, even though they look a very good balanced side to me, and Jimmy Garner's up there challenging in the near future Ando for that England slot, I would argue. So yeah, I think bad run of fixtures, bad referee didn't help it, Man City, complacency off the pitch that perhaps seeped through with the likes of Fulham. I mean, look where Fulham are now. Fulham and Everton, and then it's just not been great, has it? But hopefully we're out of it now.
Yeah, for the reference, we're going to be without Sangare for a little while longer because the Ivory Coast have progressed to the quarterfinals of the African Cup of Nations, where they play Egypt, Mo Salah's Egypt, in the quarterfinals on Saturday, I believe. So either Sangare is coming back to the Premier League or Mo Salah is coming back. So it should be a good one.
Yeah.
Come on, Egypt.
Egypt were my pick anyway for AFCON, so it's got to happen.
Yeah, Nigeria also in the quarterfinals, playing Algeria, funnily enough. But who does Willy Bolly play for? Is he Ivory Coast as well?
Yeah.
Or is he Nigeria? Yeah.
He's Ivory Coast.
Okay.
I just want to pick up on something Molo said there, that I've been saying to a lot of people. Yes, we do miss Sangare, of course we do, but we miss Yates. Yates would have been great yesterday. He would have been the perfect player to come on, upset people, get people booked, get people sent off, ruffle some feathers. But the thing that I miss most about Ryan Yates is the team spirit. The man bleeds Forest. At the moment, that is lacking. We've been down before. Many times we've been out of form. What we lack at the moment is that magic Forest team spirit, where they do dig in, where they do battle, where we sense the battle watching them and really get behind them and sing our hearts out even when we're getting stuffed, because we can see that they're trying and they're leaving it all out on the pitch. Yates is the man that brings that in the dressing room, and to a degree Dyche does need to also bring that from a managerial point of view, and I'm not altogether sure that he is at the moment, which is not me saying I am one of these crazy people that is saying that we should get rid of him. I absolutely don't think that. He's our man, they are our team, you know, I want them in well, but I do feel at the moment that is missing. That is a little bit of Forest magic that is missing, that ride or die team spirit when we can see them absolutely together on the pitch, and we need that back. That comes from Yates. Some of it will come from Aina coming back because we know he's a big voice. It also needs to come from Dyche.
He's been in the gym now, hasn't he? He doesn't look like the same person. Yeah, Aina. We were saying, we were like, when we saw him at Villa, we were like, he looks more like a centre half now. It's bizarre. I hope he hasn't lost any of his pace, but more importantly, his flexibility to do the things he does that are magic. You know, because that would be a loss. Because him coming back, even though he's obviously going to take a while to get match fit, is a massive. It was the big bonus from Villa Park. That and a flash of what at the time I thought was brilliance from Bakwa. When I watched the match of the day, I thought he actually meant to pass to Jesus there, didn't he? It went through for Gibbs White's run.
So Aina's a bit like a new signing, isn't he, at this stage of the season? And the transfer window is now open, of course, and we talked about signing a new striker, but are there any other positions that you guys would look at in terms of signing in this transfer window? Goalkeeper one then, with John Victor out injured. What other areas would you guys think they need to look at? Anyone, Chelsea?
My head has been so much on getting a striker that I haven't even thought about another one, to be honest. It's just striker. I can't.
Three strikers?
No, not. Well, do you know what? 3 would still be great, to be fair. If they wanted to sign 3 strikers, I'd be well happy with that, to be fair. At least I've got back.
Or if you play them all at once.
Yeah.
So, I tell you what, Chelsea, just cut in there. When you went striker, that reminded me of a scene from the Airplane movies back with Leslie Nielsen, where they're in the cockpit of the plane, and he was going, and the character's name was Ted Stryker, and he kept going striker. So he did turn around and punch the air stewardess on the plane because he said striker.
Oh, surely you can't be serious.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I am serious, and don't call me Shirley.
Random.
Yeah. Sorry, Chelsea, carry on.
No, but that's just my main focus. I'm getting to that point now where I think all us Forest fans are now desperate. We are really desperate, and I hate being that fan who is desperate that we need. But surely everyone can see that we need one. Surely.
Hard to get in this window, though, aren't they? That's the big thing.
Yeah.
I think we need a centre half equally as much. Sounds so harsh because we've talked about it before. We've got one of the best partnerships in the league that's kept us out of trouble, kept us at the top. Is the one thing you go into the game believing it's going to take something good or lucky to beat them, or a goalkeeping error. And when one of them is injured, the drop off is so big, isn't it? And that's no disrespect to whoever comes in, Morato, or if Cunha ever gets a game. It's the fact that they are so good that the talk about Dyche wanting a centre-half makes complete sense as well.
I'd be really interested to see how Cunha would play, because we haven't really seen him, to be honest, have we?
No. The staff have seen him, haven't they, day in, day out. Sometimes. The player on the bench, when you're not playing well, the player on the bench or in the reserves is always better than a player on the pitch in people's heads. It's an old, goes all the way back to Toddy Orlickson and Brian Rice.
Yeah.
But it's just always been the way, hasn't it? And that's how Callum Wendo suddenly became the best player in the world in the last 2 weeks, didn't he? And people say, why has he not been given a chance? Because he's crap. Sorry, public. Because he's not designed for the Premier League. He's not big enough to hold the ball up. He's not quick enough and good enough at running in behind. He scored 2 goals against sort of League One Championship standard opposition in Europe. It's always the way. So I think, go back to your question, Simon. I say centre half. What do you think, Kate? Sorry.
And Chelsea's going Toddy who?
Yeah,
yeah, I am. I'm
Hot
like,
Toddy. Exactly.
I think the priority has to be a striker. For me, it just does. The other person that we've been linked with is Dwight McNeil, isn't it? And for me, we don't need that.
Why not? Justify that from a football point of view. He's better than what we've got. He's done more than what we've got. He looked better than what we've got. He looked quality at Burnley. He's done okay at Everton. Obviously, again, we don't want injury players. So I know why you're saying that. If his name was Dwightio McNeilio and he played for Napoli, half our fan base would be going, sign him, he's so good. He's Premier League proven, and he did a job on us the other week along with the others. So sorry.
There's the other social media clip that's going out this week. Yeah,
it's better than what we've got.
I just don't think it's a position that we're lacking, and I think the money needs to be spent carefully. And I, like Chelsea, I think that money needs to go on a striker. I take your point. Yeah, he's better than what we've got. But I don't think it's the area that we need to be focusing on. And it's January, and we've got to be careful and get a striker in for me.
Yeah, PSR does.
Dwight McNeil comes like any other player. I'll back him. I'm happy to be proved wrong. I'm very used to it.
Well, he's better than Bakwa. He's certainly better than what Bakwa appears to be. Is it weird how Bakwa looks like a striker and hench? And yet isn't, and then Callum Wendo looks like a little winger and tries to play up front. This kind of physicality is so weird, isn't it? I know in the French league it doesn't matter, or in Holland or wherever, but it does matter, doesn't it, over here? And that's the issue. But I would take Dwight McNeil in a heartbeat for 2 reasons. Obviously, he's Premier League proven and he's better than what we've got competing. He's not better than Callum, but he's someone to compete with. He's on a level with Callum on any given day. But also, he's comfortable at left back as well. And if we'd have had this is harsh. If we had a comfortable left back for the last couple of months, Nico could have shored up the other side, couldn't he? And that's because Savonia's not quite. He's done his very best. He's not done anything massively wrong. But he's a centre back playing at right back at the end of the day, who's young and not ready as well. So
obviously, weeks to go the transfer window yet, so things are not going to happen likely until near the end, so we'll see if Dwighto McNeilio is that signing or not. Right, we're coming to the end of the show. Let's take a very quick look at Wrexham, though, because they do have another fixture coming very quickly on Friday night.
I'll try and answer the question now.
Which question?
Quiz question to Wrexham.
Yeah, go on then. Let's do the quiz before we talk about Wrexham in general.
One I know for definite, and that was when Collymore scored his first goal for Forest. It was a hat-trick away at Wrexham.
Yep.
And I think, because I went to the home game and I just can't remember it, but I think we went through on away goals, so I'm going to say 1-1.
What was the question, though, Kate? Who scored, or what was the
aggregate?
1-1,
that's so 4-4 overall.
What was the aggregate score? And
I'm going to say 4-4 because I know we drew 3 all away, but I've got a feeling we drew at home as well.
Okay.
So, there we go.
I don't remember Forest losing to Wrexham because it doesn't stand. It's not in my mind as a cup shock.
Yeah, we got.
So I'm pretty sure we beat them. I would say, I don't know, 5-2 or something like that over 2 legs.
No, it was 3-3 at the away leg.
Oh, was it 3 or 5-3? 5-3.
Okay.
6-3. I don't know.
3-2.
I'm guessing.
Yeah,
interesting. So absolutely spot on Collymore hat-trick. That was in the first leg when it was 3-3, well remembered.
That was the first leg?
Yeah, so in the second leg, Forest won 3-1, making it a 6-4 aggregate score. And the 3 goals scored in the second leg, in the home leg, were scored by Collymore again, Kingsley Black and Gary Crosby.
Interesting.
Kingsley
nice
Black.
one.
We used to like slate him when he was playing back in the day, compared to what we were used to. But his crossing and wing play was not bad at all compared to what we've watched this season, was it? Anyway, sorry.
And
That's
Chelsea's
a great question. I like that.
It was a good one. Chelsea's going Kingsley who?
Yeah, I am. I'm like, I wasn't alive.
Yeah.
I went to that game as well. I just can't remember it.
Right, Wrexham's got all the hallmarks of a cup shock, cup upset this weekend, hasn't it? Championship team flying high ninth. They've won the last 4 in a row. Friday night in the cold, away. Forest on a short week. I'm not obviously going. Are you guys going, Kate?
I didn't get tickets. I was too slow. I was
going.
so annoyed. I didn't pay attention at all. It crept up over whatever it was. I'm glad I'm not right now, but it was one of them where it crept up, and I'm like, someone texted said, "Did we get tickets?" I'm like, "What? So no, I've not even got tickets. So unless they come up at the last minute, maybe. But I think with Wrexham on their good run in the Championship, they'll be focusing on the league and they'll play the kids, so we might escape with a draw.
Yeah, do you think Chelsea, obviously we saw what a good cup run did for Forest last year, particularly towards the end of the season when it became apparent the fixtures were catching up on them. Given the Forest League position and the fact that in the Europa League still, would it be a bad thing to exit the FA Cup? I personally want to see them win it. I always do. That's the one dream I have, is to see Forest win the Cup. You know, priorities and all of that. What are your thoughts, Chelsea? Do you want to see Forest go on another Cup run?
I'd love to see
an
them.
early exit to concentrate on the league.
I'd love to see them go on another Cup run. I'm the same as you. I would love to see Forest win the FA Cup. It's like that, like, you know, when it's like one of your childhood dreams that you'd love to see. That just feels like that's just creeping in. But again, I always feel, I remember when Forest were in the Championship and we went on a good run and we were, you know, beating Leicester and all of that, and we were given all the Premier League ones a really good run for their money. And I do feel like sometimes the FA Cup is for Championship teams, because if Championship teams do surprise us. I wouldn't be surprised if Wrexham win, if I'm honest, just considering it is the FA Cup. But God, I would love to see Forest win. And I feel like we need to win that, just purely for confidence as well, showing us who we are. I know we've got the Europa, I know we've got the league, but come on, can you imagine a bit of silverware?
So who else want to win it? Angus Gunn. A cup run might just propel him back into World Cup, or keep him World Cup. That's such an interesting story behind that, isn't it? I remember playing Wrexham in the FA Cup when I was a kid, and they beat us 3-1 when we were a proper team.
So we're not a proper team now?
I mean, as in, we were... You talk about the top 4 and all that. That was us year in, year out.
Yeah.
You know what I meant, sorry.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I was being silly.
Like, travelling down to West Ham yesterday, I was so nervous. It felt like, oh my goodness, this is a big game. We need this so much. And I didn't want to think about it, and then I did think about it, and it just felt like, oh, this could be excruciating. And in a lot of ways it was, but with the right result. Whereas travelling to Wrexham on Friday, I am excited because I've never been. I am looking forward to the cup story, whatever it is. You know, Mr. Deadpool and his friends can absolutely turn us over and get some extra hits on Disney Plus, and that's absolutely fine. Or we can go give them a really good game and come away singing and smiling and going through to the next round. You know, if the big if is if the match is actually going to go ahead, isn't it? Because we've got this massive weather warning.
Yeah.
But, you know, I've got my snowplow ready to you know, dig our way down there to get to that ground. But if the game goes ahead, I'm always of the opinion that you play to win. You got to go there and play to win. But ultimately, am I going to be on the edge of my seat waiting for the team news? No, I'm not. Am I going to be stood there thinking, oh my God, the world's going to end if we don't win this? No, I'm not. Am I going to have a good time? I flipping hope so. I'm going to Wrexham.
You only want to go to Wrexham to see those 2 Hollywood actors, don't you, Kate?
Oh, we'll be there in our Deadpool masks, won't we?
Yeah. Yeah, let's hope it's a welcome distraction from the league. Any final thoughts, guys, before we draw to a close? Start with you, Molo.
Just, we've got to keep behind them, and we've got to use your phrase, bigger picture. The bigger picture is, you look at Dyche's points per game since he's come in, into a team that were on their backsides, couldn't buy any kind of a result anywhere against anybody in whatever competition, under a manager, loosely termed a manager. He came in and immediately managed to shore it up, got us playing a bit of decent football here and there. I think that's the important thing. All this, he's got to go, and we've got to have manager number 4. It's insane. Like you said it earlier, Kate. It's mental to want to get rid of a manager because we have had a bad run, but it's circumstantial, isn't it? And also, over that number of games, he's averaging 1.25 or whatever it is a game, which is, considering the run we've had, is good, because anything we get against Arsenal at home will be a bonus. We've got to be honest, they're a different outfit to what they have been for the last 3 years because of their squad size, the money they've spent, the quality, all over the pitch, in every position, 5 times over, it would seem, looking at their squad now. And fair play to them, they've built. They ought to win the league this year. If they don't, the manager's failed, in my opinion. It's going to be a tough run, but we've just got to stick with it. And Yates will be back soon, so we'll be okay.
Yeah, good stuff. Anything from you, Chelsea?
No, we need that passion just to keep rising, confidence to keep rising, knowing that we have players and they can play and take I'll change the word, Mickey, like what we were doing against Spurs. We know we've got it, and we know we can do it. It's just the end product. That's what we need. We're lacking the end product of goals and everything. And we just need to, like Molo said, just keep behind the boys, and we just move on to the next one.
And
we're
lastly,
going to Istanbul, so...
Yeah, Kate, anything?
I'm very happy to see you all. It's very nice to have you back. I missed you guys over Christmas. So yeah, new year, let's tricky talk it up, let's support the Reds and see where it takes us.
Yeah. New Year to you all.
Yeah,
Happy New Year.
One thing from me very quickly, shout out to Brandon Doan, who engages with the podcast account on X on a regular basis. So shout out to him because he loves engaging with us on social media. So hope you enjoy the show, Brandon, as well, because I think you listen also. Thanks for your support, much appreciated. And that's it. So we'll be back with you next week, where we'll hopefully review the game with Wrexham and look forward to another Premier League game against Arsenal. So thanks for listening, and bye for now.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.